Hey, what's up guys? Brad, Poor Boy's Garage. You guys seem to like choppers as much as I do. I love all those great comments I got on that last video. And don't get me wrong, this is a great time. Suicide clutch. The only problem is we're in the danger zone with just the back brake. So let's go ahead and get her up in the air. Let's see if we can't follow some crazy internet instructions. And let's see if we can't put a front brake on this DNA Springer. Here we go. No turning back now. All right, guys, back at it again. This jack, I know some of you were asking about this. This is just a Harbor Freight, but I got it probably 10 plus years ago. I just never gave it away or sold it because I told myself maybe one day I will have another bike in here. Kind of took a hiatus for a little while. But I've had about, I don't know, 3 or 4 different bikes in here. You guys only seen one video. But I had some cool little choppers in here. My concrete must be on level right there. That don't make no sense. Anyway, I don't worry about it. So first thing we're gonna have to do here obviously is pull the axle and pull this wheel off. I'm gonna put the disc on because I know how to do that, right? And then from there, I'm going to have to look at some instructions. Got some great internet instructions. Let me show you. This is what I printed off right here, all nice and blurry. Luckily, I could look at pictures and figure stuff out. So we'll do that, pull the axle, do the disc, and then from there, we'll just kind of build up, see what we could do. And hopefully everything fits, which it probably won't. That's usually how it goes. And that's really about it. So let's pull this axle off and let's see what we got going on here. Don't know why it had to be so difficult. And of course, I left the other bolt, I think, in my truck because I took it up to Ace Hardware to make sure I get the right size nuts. And of course, it's good to have the right size nuts for all these jobs. So the spacer they give you is dang near the size of the spacer. Oh no, then you get this. I get that. I don't understand why you would need that. All right, that's about it right there. I could already see what it's trying to do here. Legit. So I'm gonna roll with that. This is the spacer that was in it, which is a real nice spacer. And you just gotta replace it with the spacers that they give you. This is a nice steel chrome spacer. The ones they give you are like aluminum, which are fine, but I mean, it's always nice to have this heavy gauge stuff. But whatever, it's DNA, man. It's China, so. I've never had a problem with them. My last bike, I ran a nice long DNA. I think it was 2 over stock, or I went something real long on that. And I love a Springer because a Springer, it rides so different than regular shock or down tubes, in my opinion. Just got more of a bounce to it. The only downfall that I didn't like about my last chopper is it used to pop wheelies, and I'm not saying like I could ride a wheelie down the street like a crotch rocket or anything, but off the line I could pop the tire off the ground probably about 3 inches, 5 inches or so, and it lift up and then just go back down. But when I put the DNA Springer front end on my old bike, and I'll show you pictures of that if I remember. No more wheelies. That was the end of it because they're just heavy. They're heavy front ends. They're awesome front ends. I love them, but they're just heavy compared to like 2 little nice down tubes, shocks built in. So I used to be able to just whoop all my friends on their Harleys because I had that light little, had a 1200 board and punched out Sportster motor, and had heads done on it. And what else did they do on it? They did a couple things on that engine. And I had the same thing. I had like a little chopper frame hardtail, and it would just get it. That thing would just get down. And some lady, I was going up to I think I was just going up to meet a couple of my buddies. Right, of course, it was right down the street from my house. When I lived in Wilmington, North Carolina, I was a young Marine. And this woman just decided to cut the corner. I was waiting at a stop sign, waiting for the cars to go by. Traffic was going this way and that way. And this woman she was coming in my lane and just decides to cut the corner. And I seen her coming, and I kind of rolled off the bike, and she just took out the front end of my whole bike. And I was a little distraught about that one, as you can imagine, because that bike was so bad. It was awesome. It was just nasty. So I fell in love with the bike that I decided to buy it back from the insurance company, which I should have just let it go, just let them fly away, let their wings, they'll come back. All that crap you hear like an old girlfriend, just let them go. And I should have let that one go. But I bought it back, and I ended up restoring it ground up, had the frame all powder coated, had the motor reworked a little more. And then that's when I put that DNA front end on it, Springer. And it just wasn't the same anymore. It was still quick, but it wasn't as fast. So that's the story on that chopper, and I'll show you pictures of that one. But anyway, enough about that. All right, now for the pain in the butt part. I try to set everything just because, you need like 4 hands to do this crap. All right, so we got that on, I guess. Let's see how big of a cluster F this is going to be here. So we got some piece of bubble gum right in between here to keep these brake pads spread apart. We got our trusty internet great instructions that are blurry. That's okay, that's perfect though. Something like this goes like this does. Well, we know this has got to ride. We know that's got to do that. I think I got this thing on backwards. Yep, got it on backwards. I'm glad I didn't tighten nothing down. Good Lord. All right, good morning. So last night we got the brake caliper on, Figured that out with some blurry internet instructions that weren't even close. They had spacers and all kinds of craziness. But anyway, so we get this back up in the air. Let's get these bolts tightened up. Use a little thread lock on them. I found one of the bolts that we needed last night. To hook this into the DNA fork itself. I didn't think I had one. Turned out I did have one. So I don't have to go up to the hardware store for that, but it is a little long, so I'm gonna have to cut it down, which is not a big deal. I just gotta take a measurement in there. So when you do this, I put it in a vise. Make sure you put your threads in the vise that you're not using, of course, because you will mess those up and then they won't work. And very slowly, not fast, let the saw do the work. If you do it fast, you'll skip the threads and then it will, you'll jimmy up your threads. And then you'll have a time you'll start cross-threading it, trying to use it to where you need it. So I just kind of take my time. And once you get down like, you know, a good 1/8 of an inch, you can start going a little faster here. And you can hear the sound of it going through. I just let it hang right there. And then be careful because it's going to be hot. This one ain't bad though. And then we'll go try it. Sometimes you get lucky and it'll work real easy, but sometimes you may not get lucky and you'll have to jack around with the threads. Sometimes you just take the little burrs off the end where you're cutting, and sometimes that'll work. I don't know. You gotta play with it, guys. Everything is, there it goes. Okay. See if any air comes out of the top of this reservoir. I feel like it's good, but I don't feel like 100%. Like it's completely pumped all the air out. Sometimes you get a little air out of the top. If you just leave it open and go very slowly, you'll see some bubbles come out. Let me do that a few more times. All right. Make sure you wipe off all this brake fluid because it will eat paint. Best you can. Trying to wipe off some chrome here. Although I'm not really a big chrome guy, it looks good on this bike. Let's go for a ride. If you guys ever make it to North Carolina, New Bern is a real beautiful small town, and it's full of all kinds of historical places like this. The Jones House, and right across the street here we have Tryon Palace. What's right for you? No. I was just asked to volunteer to be a docent here. I guess my military background pays off. Now I could be a free tour guide, guys. Maybe we need to change it up a little bit and not do these videos and be a tour guide. Well, the bike broke down.